Hello my friends, the FX Hunter here, and in this video I want to show you how I'm analyzing the markets. I want to show how I'm doing the top-down analysis. It means that I basically analyze all time frames from the monthly in this left top chart, weekly in this left bottom chart, daily in this top right chart, and the 4 hours chart in this bottom right chart window. So let's start with the monthly as usually, and what I'm always looking for is that I want to find out what is the trend, what is the trend on this time frame. So first of all, we should define what is the trend. So trend is the constantly when the price movement is making the high, lower high and higher high. So this could be considered as an uptrend if we have this, and in the downtrend we need to have low, lower high and lower low. So this is the downtrend. Yeah, I think this is pretty clear, and this is how I as well draw the trend lines. So always I just connect two latest points. So some people, or sometimes when you see someone drawing the trend lines, for example like this, so like this, it's probably not totally correct, because they just they connecting the price levels where the market is bouncing or doing something, but the correct is just you have to do it always basically same. You need to have a rule so all your trend lines are same, because it could be very, how to say, like every trend line you could draw like a little bit differently. Sometimes you draw it like this, for example, then the trend line, then you draw it like this, and etc. And it's then gives you a little bit different the feeling of the market. So I'm trying to draw it always the same, so always connecting last two levels, and it's helping me to define the trend, obviously, and I'm using it for some another trading decision. So this is for the trend line. So what's the next I'm looking for? It's the supply demand zones. It's of course the most important levels for me, where the banks are trading. So basically I'm looking for the levels where I can see the big sharp move, at least 2 or 3 sharp candles, sharp movement. So definitely these levels will be very nice. This one, this move up, and for example this next one move down, and there is a many of these levels, and as well they must have some rules. So for example that this level is the stronger and more valid if it removed the opposite level, and this is not really easy to decode the whole chart, because if you want to know that, give me a second, I'll just take a pen for the drawing. So if you want to know that this level is strong and it's valid, you need to know if this is level. So basically what you have to do is you have to go from the beginning of the chart, or from some strong levels, which if you will be doing this for a long time, you will be able to find them, and you must go from level to level, and then you will find out if it removed something, if it was strong, what was the departure, and etc. Basically I will do it this, as I said, very quickly, because for the complete to do the complete analysis of the chart as I'm doing it, it takes me like 2 or 3 hours to make one chart. So but I will do it, as I said, the quick one. So this is how I'm doing it. So I'm starting, this is the monthly chart, so I can do it from the beginning because there is not too much movement. So I have to draw the trend line. As I said, I start from the beginning, so I'm drawing it from the last impulses. So it's these two ones. So here we had this trend line, and now I have to draw when this level was broken. Here was created the supply zone. So I basically draw the level, and then I will see if in the future this level will be playing some role. So I can of course right now see that it played some role. So okay, so this one is the supply zone. Then when the price is dropping, and here is the trend line broken, so here is the new another supply zone created. And I will leave it just like this for now. And then what do we have here? We have these impulses, and here was the level which was absorbed by this one. So here was the another supply zone, and like this. Then we've been dropping down. Here's nothing extra happened, but if this level, which is the beginning in the 2001, was absorbed by this one, it's creating the supply zone again, and but it was immediately, I mean it's not immediately, it's on the monthly, but it was absorbed again. So I have to draw this level here, and this time it will not be the supply zone, but it obviously will be the opposite one, which is the demand zone, and it's the levels like the mountainous which are creating for me the zones which I can consider then for the trading. Of course there will be more zones inside, but what do we have now? We have of course here was the trend line, because we had this move down, move up, and the push. So the trend line in here will be for me, I will draw it like this. I'm sorry, I will draw it like this. And in the level where the trend line was broken, of course the new demand zone again, this zone was absorbed here, so the next one, the new one, was created here, and this is the level for me, because I can see the nice accumulation here, and then the move up. And if I want to be more precise, I could draw the level as well, another one here, because this is the last point from where the banks accumulated the power. And then look at this push. So what I expect is that if the price comes here, I would see some bounce. I don't say that we will see definitely total trend change, but we will see something can happen here. So right now I continue, and so the price is moving up, and it's coming here into this supply zone, where we can see that we had here some you know, it doesn't look like any big movement because it's on this monthly, but once it touched this one, it dropped it a little bit down, and it's actually, as I said, it doesn't look like any big movement, but on this monthly, it's actually something like wait a second, let me measure that. It will be something like you know, like 300 pips, which is pretty good, you know. So it's possible to take the trade for the first bounce. So these first bounces, they are mostly the ones most powerful. Okay, so the next one, I continue. Now I continued analyzing the chart, so I need to draw the levels. So still we continue with this. So this level was absorbed by the level below. So what I have to draw is that this level was absorbed, and and it was absorbed by the level which was accumulated in this small candle. So I draw the level like this. Then the price, they absorb this level, they touch this next supply zone, they drop down into the level where they previously accumulated the power, and then they continue up again. And this zone was absorbed here as well. So the absorbed supply, and it was absorbed by this level in this candle where was the power accumulated, and you can see how this level was holding like for a couple months, like 1-2 touches, and then they drop it down, right? So it was demand, so the green one. So we can see as well in here, if we have 2 zones absorbed, we can draw the trend line, and we will draw it into the last 2 impulses which created the high, higher low, and higher high. So it's here, and so this supply zone, this top one, is now in the control. So I just using this one, this arrow as that it means that it's in control. And what as well I do is that it was touched, so right now it's not so strong for me, so I make it like this. But if we have this trend line break and this trend change, I must draw that we have new supply zone created here. Oh, let me change the mouse, give me a second. Because I have a new mouse and I'm still not, I still didn't get used to it. So, okay. So we have the new, as I said, this new fresh supply zone created here. So we have a strong impulse, then we have this pause after this demand zone created, and then another push down which actually absorbed this demand zone. So if the zone is absorbed down, we have to say that this is basically the new fresh supply zone. So then the price is dropping down, then this supply zone is holding. It was touched in here, it was touched 1 time, 2 times, and now we can see that the price is dropping. We have 2 zones, 2 demand zones out, so we can draw the trend line, and we're drawing it right now. This is very important because, as I said, many people will draw for you this, but where is the lowest low? Lowest low is here, and here is actually, so we have the push down, we have lower high and lower low. Then the market did it make it a new high? Yes, it did, but it absorbed just one zone. This zone is out right now, but it doesn't mean anything. Always we are looking for the 2 zones to be taken out for the trend change. So how I'm gonna draw the trend line? Is it gonna be like this? Is this low lower than this one? Let's check it. Simply right now we will watch this, yeah, because this is the low. So here is the 69,232 and here is 69,412. So it's not lower low yet. So the correct trend line basically will be like this. Like this. This is the trend line. And right now, so what is actually, if I say that if this is the trend line, so what is basically happening now when here is not new low created, not new highs, one supply zone is removed. So basically what is happening here is this. So this supply zone was absorbed. When this is absorbed, there has to be some demand zone, which was basically this one. Okay, so to be very precise, like this. And right now, so what do we see right now is that this one is absorbed, and then the price is somehow, you know, moving somewhere up and down. We of course can draw the another supply zone here, because this looks like a really strong push from the banks, but it didn't absorb anything. So from this moment we can see that the price drops, the trend line is broken, but just one is out, and we have this demand zone right now in the control. It's touched, and it seems like it would be, you know, the broken, but I cannot say this until it's broken down here. So right now it's the touched one for me. It's touched demand, so I have to make it like this. This one is actually the touched as well, like this. So as well, I just make it here, so it was touched here, and this one was you know, retested and created here. So what is going on right now here as well, we have to think what others people are doing. So when we see that the price is dropping somewhere down, and we can see that here was created this, like, you know, it could be called a support, like a classical support, as the people drawing the supports in the levels where the price is, you know, mostly changing the direction. Of course, I don't have nothing against these supports, but what they mostly think, and they think it, I think they think this very wrongly, is that they basically think that this is strong support, and they're moving up as well. They see, you know, the pin bar, which is wrong. I mean, it's not wrong, but what's then happened is that they basically put the stop losses below here. And what is actually right now happening here is okay, here is the stop losses. So the banks are, what they do mostly, they just create this illusion of this support. So they want the people to put the stop losses below down here, below these two levels. Why they probably want to do it is that because they have this zone, this one, which moved up all the way up, and right now it's for them, I think it's a very nice level where they would like to buy and move the price higher. So they start to maintain the price here, and then something like this could happen. But it's, you know, it's the monthly, and we are not looking for the trades yet, we just doing the analysis. So this is what I would like to have on my monthly chart. Then I'm going to check what we're gonna do on the weekly. So let's check the weekly, and here as well will be some you know, uptrends, downtrends, and a lot of these things. So I have to, as I said, I have to start from some important levels. I of course don't have to go from the beginning, but what would be important for me is definitely, let's say these highs, which will be supply for sure, and as well here will be these lows, right? So I'm gonna start to analyze from here. So we had what we had here. We had this trend line here, we had this uptrend which was broken, so we have the new fresh supply zone. Then we have another supply zone in here. Why is the supply zone in here? Because look, from this level the price dropped down, it absorbed these levels, So I can consider this as a strong, and as well what it did is that it's cleared out this trend line. So you can be looking for the short from the supply zone. Of course, it's very easy to describe it like this right now because it's the chart which happened, but okay. But as I said, we are not looking for the trades right now. We are just drawing the trend lines and the supply zones. So the market continues down. Here we have another supply, which is this one. Then the price is dropping. Here is the next one. This is all the levels which will place some important role. We cannot forget for the trend line, so we have the low, and here is the new lower low created. So the trend line in this moment is like this. Then the price is still continue dropping, and we have new lower low and another lower low. So we have to update the trend line. Trend line is updated like this. Then what's happening? We can see that the trend line was broken, and in here was accumulated the power for this break. So this is for me in that is demand zone. Then the price is moving higher. This is nothing interesting for me here. In this case, what I would be looking for is maybe for the uptrend or for the long or short, I don't know, but it's still in the range, so nothing extra is happening here. Of course, we can be drawing, I mean, it's weekly, you know, so it's not that nothing is happening. There is happening a lot of stuff. I mean, here was the level, but for this case, it's very hard to trade, take a decision from the weekly. So what we're doing is we can see this sharp move. It's a demand zone, which then holding the price higher, and you can see that and even I didn't know what was next here. This can tells me that here is the banks are trading and they preparing something. So basically this demand zone created here, then hold at the price, and it was filled up, and then it's continue up. So let's continue here. What do we have here on this weekly? So we are looking just for these demand zones. So what do we have? We don't have a new trend created here because here was not any. Might I have to check here in this past. Actually, I'm very sorry because we had this was the supply zone. So this was the supply zone, which if it was absorbed here, okay, so it would be deleted. Okay, so this is correct. So this is the thing. So sometimes if you want to know if you want to know if any of the zones in here was the supply zone or something, or the demand zone, you need to look actually what happened in here. So this is why you always need to do the proper analysis from the beginning, and it's, as I said, it's not so easy. So right now what we're looking for is, here is the one, it's absorbed. So right now we have the new zones. Here is the next one. To be correct, it should be like this. We are moving up. Right now we of course already can draw the trend line because we have two zones out. So I should be drawing the trend line like this. Should be like this once the price is moving like that. Okay, after these patterns I could draw the trend line like this. I mean, this is not a completely clear trend line, but okay, this is the rules, so it should be like that. Right now The trend line is broken, but we still don't have a trend change. So these two zones, if they still holding, this is still possible to take a trade here. Anyway, we're moving up. Here we have a new higher high, so the trend line should be then like this from these last two impulses. Like this, then we continue up. Here we have this is the supply zone because it absorbed this trend line. So this is the supply zone which was absorbed here, and this zone was absorbed by the level which was created here. You can see how then the market retraced just down here and moving up strongly again. So then it's coming into this zone which was already tested once, so I don't expect it's gonna be strong, and we can see that then later it start to so the supply, so it start to break up. So here was the again this trick by the banks created. So they created this illusion of the strong support. We had the 1, 2, 3 bounces, then prices start to drop. So people are already then here when they see the breakdown, so they start to selling. So what then is gonna happen? Even they are right, and there is going there's gonna be the trend change. So what's gonna happen? The banks move the price quickly up into the stop loss zone, and then they reverse it. Anyway, we have to do what we have to do is this. So we have a trend line again because we have a new high, higher low, higher high. Price is then moving up until it breaks. So we have the break. So here is a new fresh supply zone, and of course always when the price changed we have a new zone above. Then this demand zone was broken down here, absorb demand, and I can draw straight away this one as well. So these zones was absorbed, and it was the power for that was accumulated in here. So fresh supply. Of course we have to consider this as a zones. It cannot be, the trades cannot be and should not be taken exactly on the levels, like you still need to have a place for putting the stop loss behind it. And we have two zones out, so we have to draw the new trend line. So here is the new trend created like this. We have and this is, you should not draw the trend line like this, because this is continuation pattern. This is not the new like a leg or something like that. Let's call it like this. And then the price it's respecting this supply zone, it's continuing down, so we have to update our trend line, and it will be like this. Then what is happening? The price came into this zone which was respected, and price reversed and continue up. So why this zone? How could we know that this zone is strong, that it could be respected? Because look left, this zone, this zone, here was the power accumulated which started this move up, and it absorbed two zones. So this level will be somehow important. I don't know if they still maintaining the positions in there or what, but this level somehow just works. So this zone is holding, and we have a trend line break, so we have to draw the new zone. Then the price is moving up, and we have this supply zone is absorbed, and it's absorbed by from where? From this level, from this candle. Here was the accumulation This one is already touched, and so here was the orders filling here, boom, and then you can see we are still in the range. We have a broken trend line, we are still in the range. However, this zone is still respected until it's broken down. It's broken down here, and here we have absorbed demand, and it was broken by this last one, accumulation. So here was the supply, sorry, it should be this one. This zone is absorbed as well. So right now we have these new fresh zones. So we have this one, and we have this one. So the price was basically moving higher, and in here it failed to come up to make a touch in here. So here is still the space. So once it will come back, it will definitely play a big role in the game. Then we have we had this actually in here. It was this flash crash supply zone, which absorbed this this previous demand. So, but the next after this move back, it absorbed again. So it's absorbed supply like this, and it actually was, you know, the supply which was absorbed immediately, so it created actually the demand, and this demand was absorbed then as well. So it's creating fresh supply zone, and this one is touched and is filled. So this zone, if is it so much tested and dig it in so much deep, I don't consider this as a strong anymore. And right now what is going on here, I'm sorry, here I forgot, if we have these two zones out, we have to update this trend line actually. Again, this trend line, and it's supposed to be, I will leave this one, so it's supposed to be the trend something like this. Last two was these two, yeah, and here we have this demand, then supply, and then it's breaking. So right now it's kind of like a range, you know, because we have this this low, and this lower low is not it's not the new low in here. And yeah, so this is it. I mean, it's not telling me much what I want to do. I like this fresh zone. If the price retraces here, that would be nice, because on monthly we have a downtrend. But right now in this moment, nothing extra. So we are in the range. Okay, so this is it for me for the weekly on this chart. Next one, I'm going for the daily. So we have already two charts analyzed. Right now we will go to check it on the daily, and on the daily it will be very easy. We don't have to go so much far, because what I want to know is what was happening below this zone. Below this, because there will be the levels which I will want to be look for if the price will be dropping down. So I will analyze these levels. Yeah, so here I can see here is the demand zone. So here is the fresh demand zone. This one is as well nice level, and I can consider this as a level as well because the push is pretty strong. So this is continuation pattern, and this one as well could be considered as a strong level. Alright, so this is the levels below, and I think I like this one. This one was tested here, was holding the price. Nice push from here, and this is definitely the low, so basically we have to draw this low as well, because here was definitely the trend line which was broken up. So this is the levels for me which are below down this one. The next one what I want to draw is not much, because here was a lot of things cleared out by these things. So what I will be looking for is what was going on down here. You can see a lot of these levels are already out, so I must. Okay. Okay, so basically and easily, I don't want to complicate my life too much, but this is gonna be the demand zone which is already touched. So I will draw it and I will mark it as a touched demand zone, of course. And here is where this flash crash come inside, and almost the zone was almost completely eaten out. So it's not any strong for me anymore, but we still have to consider that it's here. Right now I'm going to draw the zones from what is going on here above, and it will be pretty simple, because what I see is that definitely we had let's start like this. Definitely we had the uptrend here, when it was broken. Here is the zone where the banks traded. They as well traded in here, because this strong push took it down. We can see then how the price exactly reacted in here as well. They definitely traded in here. Why I'm drawing these levels, if they not looks, if they are actually, how to say, like alt or whatever, it's for the reason because right now I must consider to draw this. So it is obviously absorbed supply zone. Sorry, no, this one. Absorbed supply zone, and right now level below is this one. So we can see that here was the level, nice touch here, continuation up. Here's nothing too much was happening, but still here is one demand zone. It was taken out by this one, so here was the new fresh zone, but it was touched here. Yep, so it was touched here. You can see exactly like this one. So then the price is dropping. We can see again these nice two pushes which can create a supply. We can consider this as a supply zone, and then price retraced, reloaded to more energy dropping, and then when these happen on the weekend, and especially if it absorbs something, this is definitely the new fresh supply zone, and this one is the fresh. So it means that I would like to trade on this zone, not on these three, because they already touched, and the market reaction doesn't have to be so strong. But yeah, this one is pretty good one. And so this is for me on the daily. Of course, I forgot again, not of course, but I forgot again for the trend line. But here it was a little bit tricky, because we have, of course, this trend line is broken, and we have two zones taken out. Here was 1, 2, definitely was two zones taken out, so the trend line should be like this. But the problem in here is that while the price is going up here, we have just one zone out, but the second one was holding, so it's not the trend change to the upside. It was just the correction, and we've been in the range until this zone is taken out, and more likely this one as well, and it has to create a new high. So until then it was still in the range. So right now what I don't have to do anything, and this trend line is still valid like this, because it's still in the range, because we didn't have made a new low or new high, so this is still range. So the trend line is like this, and should be like this. Maybe we will see some reaction here. Let's see. So on the daily we have downtrend in the range at the moment. Okay, so let's check right now the 4 hours chart. It will be this one, which will be this one. So what is going on here on this 4 hours chart? I will not do the more levels as I did on the other time frames, because 4 hours levels are not so strong for me. What I mostly do is that if I have I'm using a couple things. What I can do is basically, of course, I draw the levels. So here is this demand zone where we are just now getting some reaction on the 4 hours chart. Actually, in the end, the time is not so important, because sometimes the banks, they just, you know, doing the stuff for so long time, so the traders lose the patience, and they could win, but they didn't because of the patience. So we can see the level. Where are we now on the 4 hours? And obviously what was going on here, of course, here was some downtrend. So here was the break of the trend line, so we had definitely the demand zone in here, which was absorbed in here. And this is what I want to know, because when I see the power was accumulated around here, yeah, around here, and as well I will look for some more pushes, which is, for example, this one. It looks good, but it was touched. Okay, this one is right now being tested as well. And do I need some more levels? So okay, let's do that. Let's make them. So we will have the demand zone here. Of course, we can see these two pushes, so this was definitely the banks. But if we look in the forward, so this would be the zone, something like this, but we can see that the zone was absorbed by this one. So I will straight away draw this zone here, which is definitely fresh supply zone. Fresh means that it wasn't touched yet, and it would be greater for the trades, for taking the trades. Next zone is definitely this zone, where we can see this strong push up was absorbed by this one, and it was straight away tested here for the more push down. Then the next one, if we look at it like this, obviously there will be the one which is on the top, which made this trend change, and it was tested already, and we had this zone straight away absorbed this one. So this one is touched, and this one is fresh, and we're going down. Yeah, this is basically it. So right now we have it like this, and obviously this is gonna be the downtrend, and the trend line is lower low and lower and the lowest low, so the trend line will be something like this, and this is it. So right now we can look to the complete picture. So what do we have here? As well, what I'm gonna draw here is my stuff, what I'm doing and what I'm expecting. So mostly when the market breaks down, as it happened here, when it breaks, so we have the breakout traders which took the short here, but they basically mostly put the stop loss behind last swing highs. So that's why the market is right now going to get them. As well, what I'm seeing on the JPY and the NZD, they are doing the corrections, but I will come into this later. So right now, by just this, looking to this, what we have here is this. So we have downtrend, but in the range on the monthly. We have a downtrend as well in the range on the weekly. We have a downtrend, we have a downtrend, but as well it's in this range on the daily, and we have a downtrend on the 4 hours chart. So I would be looking just for the shorts. However, right now we must consider a couple things. For me, what is very important is to check what is the banks are doing. So I'm going to my COT Excel sheet. So what I'm going to look for is what's happening on the Kiwi and what's happening on the yen. So if I'm looking to the Kiwi, I can see that the banks are somehow right now, I will start with this percentage. I can see that they are 62% exposure to the shorts and 38% to the long side. On the other side, when I'm looking to the commercials, which are the hedges, I can see as well they are 71% to the longs. It means they are hedging, you know, they hedging because the price is going down, so they giving the longs because they want to hedge and stabilize the price at some levels where it is. And as it's going the deeper down, you can see that they want to, you know, they adding the longs because they want to keep it for the price where it was somewhere around the beginning of the year. So considering that as well, we have to look the positions. So we can see that the longs positions on the Kiwi, on the NZDUSD, what's happening with them? There was 20, 17, 22, 21, 22, 26, 24. They are a little bit growing right now. because if we check the NZD, we can see that it's a little bit going up. Let's check the NZD, and I think they're doing the positional building, so you can see the price is going up right now. Yeah, the price is going up, and I think on the 4 hours it still could go higher, somewhere into this weekly supply zone. So I believe that we will see how the price come here. So that's why we see that they're growing a little bit their longs positions. But meanwhile, the price is going up. Let me make it like this because it's gonna be easier to see. So meanwhile, while the price is going up here, so they're adding the longs, but as well they're still building bigger shorts positions. So why is that? Why is that? It's probably because they want to move the price higher and they want to build even more shorts. And the commercials they're hedging, so they're expecting the price to drop lower. So let's see what's going to happen here. Then I'm going to check the JPY. So this is the Japanese yen. Right now, what do we see? We see that the banks was pretty heavily longs on the USD/JPY, and for the last 3 weeks, we can see actually 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. They reduced their longs positions from the 122 to the 80. And what do we see? What's happening with the shorts from 18,000? It's growing up. Right now they closed a little bit short because they're taking some profits. And what is going on the charts? Let's see USD/JPY. USD/JPY, and we can see that since they start to close the positions, which was longs positions, which was here on the 23rd, which was somewhere here, the price started to drop down, and is dropping right now down a lot. So it's clear downtrend on the USD/JPY. UJ is down. NZD USD is as well downtrend, and we can see that the banks are. Let me change. We can see as well the banks are building the short positions. So then if we go to the NZDJPY, which one is it? Here. So we can basically see that it's in the range. Range. Of course, this is dropping a lot, but technically we still have to call it as a range. And I would not to enter any trade down here, because if we are in the range, it could come up all the way up or all the way down. But so what I will be looking for now is to some high probability trades. So what I would like to see is I would like to find some zone which would be nice, which achieved something, which is for me on the weekly. This on the 73, which is the zone which absorbed this zone, and as well it's the same zone which is on the daily in here. It's two same levels as well. If we look here on the monthly, we can see it's around this level where the market start to drop sharply. I cannot draw the supply zone here on the monthly, but on the weekly it's obviously this one. So I will be looking to enter the market on the level, on this level, and if I put it to the, if I make it if I this level, if I synchronize it, Let me do it like this. If I synchronize this level, you can see now, where is it? And let's see it on this 4 hours chart. So this entry could be somewhere like this. So what's probably could happen right now, as we saw that on the NZD and JPY, on the NZD USD, the banks are, they are having heavily shorts, and but they are closing them a little bit and they adding the longs position. So obviously what's happened here on the charts is this: the price is going down and traders entering the longs. And as you look to this market structure, this dynamics, it's definitely here will be stop losses, here will be another stop loss zone. Yeah, I think that this one will be cleared out. So when the market makers building, they want to add more shorts into the JPY, they have to take, they of course will not short it here, they want to short from here. So they will take the price a bit higher, and as it's same with the NZD. So they will take these stop losses out, move higher, then other stop losses out, then they, then mostly what's gonna happen is that you will see something like this. Here will be the trend line, and you will see the break of the trend line, but here will be the zone which absorbs this one, and they will take another push up. So this is how they mostly make like a 5 ways. And once it will comes into the level, which is this one on the weekly, here on the daily, here on the 4 hours, I will be interested to enter the short in here. Of course, might you can think that I'm just gonna trade like the filling this gap and that's it. Yeah, in this case it is the case, but if the candle is here, it would not look so easy. Anyway, so this is what I'm looking for, and as well what helps me to consider that this short could continue all the way down, down here. We'll just make some some little bit correction, and then it could continue down here on this monthly target. On the weekly it will looks could drop even lower, even to the 60s below down here. So this is how I'm looking to enter the trades. And what is as well important for me is this: I am thinking where the other traders have the stop losses, because what means the stop losses? Stop losses is liquidity for the banks, so they mostly wants to fill the shorts here, so yeah, so this is it. This is how I look and analyze the markets. And if you're interested to learn this more, just join my Telegram channel, contact me, ask whatever you need, and this is it. Have a good day, my friends. Bye bye.